Okay, video number 20. Woo, just rolling. This one is part two of the video on uh, the 10 things that women do that transfer their power and control of themselves over to men. I thought, in spite of everything that we're talking about the games they run to get that kind of control, there are a lot of women that participate willingly in their own demise. And I wanted to bring this to your attention, especially as it pertains to your female children. And I'll be getting into that a little bit more. So, if you haven't heard part one of this, is video number 19. Go and listen to that. And then this one will pick up where that left off. So we're at point number 6. We're talking about the women who serve men their plate first before children and before elders. Now, this has been a big point of consternation on the internet. I mean, debates on websites and social media have raged on and on for days, where people tend to fall into two camps. The men and women who demand to be served first, and then those who think that the children and the seniors should be served first. I'm sad to report that the majority think that the man should get his plate first. The reason is, as they say, well, the food is possible because of him. The fuck it is. Your black ass getting up going to work every day. Please tell me what man is providing all the food by his damn self. You tripping. And they sitting up there talking about it's possible because of him. Please. Half the women make more money than the men. So you sitting up there talking to try to give him all kind of props and kudos for some shit he's not even doing. See, that's just basic. Not only that, any adult male who puts himself before his children is a bitch ass motherfucker. And you women who kind of feed into that shit, letting him get away with that, instead of you putting his plate in front of him first, he should be fixing the child's plate and yours. Who cooked? Who shopped? Who put the stuff in the refrigerator? Who picked the stuff out the refrigerator? Who's washing the dishes? Who's bathing the kids? Okay, the least this motherfucker could do is fix you a plate so you have a few minutes to sit down before you got to start your night routine of homework and making lunches and getting baths and reading stories and all this old stuff. He can't do that? See, once again, I'm like, you do too much. You treat these adult men like children. And the guys who insist that they get their plate first even before children, you should be ashamed of yourself. Your kids are supposed to eat even if there's not enough food for you. And if little children don't really have the patience and the understanding of when they're hungry of, how they need to wait. So you got some toddlers, you got some little kids, they should be getting their food first. You should make sure they're comfortable and situated, and then you sit your ass down. You don't sit down and eat while your woman's still running around serving everybody. You trifling piece of shit. So, all these women, you guys are buying into this stuff and playing along with this routine instead of demanding that they, play the role of a father. If that's really your role to protect and to provide, then get your ass up and provide them with a plate. Let's do that. And your wife too. Since you didn't have to go to work and make all the money to buy it, the least you could do after she cooks it is make her plate. That's what you should be doing. So, I have a real problem with that, and the whole mentality behind, it's supposed, like they see it, it's like, I'm honoring him. For doing what? For being bigger than everybody else in the house? Because that's the only thing he's done of merit? Grow. And you giving him all kind of kudos for that? Oh my God, I don't know. I have a real problem with that. That was not how it was in my household. Nobody did that. I mean, we served the seniors, people on walkers and canes and stuff. You don't want them trying to, balance a plate of hot food and then walk with their cane and walk or whatever at the same time. That's just a disaster waiting to happen. So you sit them down, you give them their food. If they need it cut up, because, old people kind of like little kids. They might need it cut up. They might need, stuff mashed a little bit or something. I don't know. It just depends on what their teeth situation is. But, you got to help them just like you help the children. That's your damn job. They helped you when you were little. So why would you not provide them with that same level of respect and care? But you gonna, just leave them alone and go serve some old rusty butt crusty ass nigger? Oh my God. So that's point number 6 of the 10. Excuse me. Point 7 kind of follows in that same line. It's the women who say, well, I believe that my king should rule the household and I should submit to him. Okay, let's just say that, for the sake of argument, because see, I don't believe in none of that shit, but let's just say for the sake of argument that, you are a person whose religion, suggests, because not mandated, suggest that this is what, should happen if the man is in proper alignment with God. Okay, that's a big if. Brothers don't be trying to go to church, and they don't be trying to be religious. They want to do what they want to do. So, but they want to hold you to a certain standard, but that they don't hold themselves to, and y'all fall for the shit. Okay, but let's circle back around. Like I said, for the sake of argument, let's just say that, this is what's going on in your household. Number one, the biblical texts specify husband. They don't specify nigga that you living with, nigga you fucking, your new man, the man that was just got out of jail but he been gone for 2 years, your man who you got to hold down because he don't have no job, but you still want him to have his respect, so you let him run shit in your household where he ain't paying nary a bill and don't have nary responsibility, but you sit back letting him do all the stuff. I have a problem with that. You should have a problem with that. If a man is not behaving in a manly fashion, you calling him a king, but he's not behaving in a kingly fashion, what are you doing? Why are you rewarding negative behavior? That's what you're doing. If you raised a dog like that, the dog will bite the fuck out of you. You can't raise kids like that because those are kids that end up in jail and a juvenile at 12. You don't reward negative behavior. You don't get a trophy when you haven't done shit to earn it. You don't get to be a winner unless you are in the game. Okay, so you got these people, they're not in no game because they're not doing shit. They sitting around laying on the couch, they don't even have jobs, they're not trying to get a job, they're just, useless. And you want to put them in a position of dominance and control simply because they have testicles and a penis. No kind of qualification whatsoever. That's your only standard to put him in charge of shit in your household. And you ain't even married to the nigga. That's the part that kills me. So you putting all this stuff on yourself, like you're treating him like this biblical scriptures say, when he meets neither of the two standards. He's not your husband, and he does not love God like, God's supposed to be over him, then it's him, then it's you. So, but you putting him up there, well, he hasn't done, the previous two things. He's not honoring you. He's not honoring God. But you want him to be the head. Y'all need your heads examined on this kind of stuff. You have to really think, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? I said that in the first video. You have to look at the message that you received as young girls growing up, as young women, when you first started dating, and kind of figure out who gave you those messages and why you think the way that you think. Because these kind of behaviors, these kind of thought processes are self-defeating. They're killing black women. You guys are not getting the respect that you deserve from men because you're not demanding it. You just give in this vacuum. You don't have any kind of standards, no boundaries. You just let these dudes do whatever they want to, and then you go and follow this little script of what you're supposed to be in your mind, and while he does whatever the fuck he wants to do. And you think, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a good woman. Please. You get the Negro Please Award. Okay, so that's enough of that. Now let's move on to point 8. This also follows in line with this, male domination, male being in a king position kind of mentality. In this one, it becomes an issue when there are young females in the house, little girls to, teenagers. I have seen so many women put these young girls in a situation where they're basically training them to be mammies and handmaidens and slaves to these men. You want them in the kitchen fixing plates and bringing them to the men. What the fuck for? Are they crippled? They can't get up and get their own plate? You don't have your daughters doing stuff like that. That's not their, I mean, what? Even if it's her father, you should, that's your job to feed your husband. That's not hers. She's a child. She does not need to be serving any man in any kind of subservient mental state, which is what you are doing. Y'all need to think before you start doing this stuff. It's not a child's job to serve men. It's not a child's job to serve teenage boys. It's not a female child's job to serve her brothers. If her brothers want to eat, they know how to get their asses up. And, it's the kind of thing like if you guys have this policy where all your kids do it, they take turns, you give, they line up, the boys and the girls, and everybody takes a plate out to the elders or something. That's different because everybody's participating. That's not what I'm talking about, though. That's not what I see. Usually the boys are playing around outside, playing video games or sitting on their ass watching TV. The men doing the same or talking shit outside, playing cards, dominoes, whatever. And the women are cooking and the girls are acting as the waitresses. That's what I see. That shit needs to stop. Any man who wants to get some food in his belly should march his ass in the kitchen. If his adult wife wants to serve him a plate, that's her business. But don't you dare make the little girls do it. You don't realize what you're telling them is by example, you're telling them you're not as important as these males. They get to eat before you do. They don't have to do anything to prepare the meal or help serve the meal or even help clean up the meal. That's all your job because you're a woman. Your role is to serve them. That's the message that you're giving your daughters. That they're not worthy, that they're not valuable, that they're not as important as these males that you so busy running behind. That really bothers me. And it's the same thing about, the cleanup and stuff. I mean, if you adult women opt to do that, that's your business. Don't make the kids do it. Those little girls should be playing just like the little boys are playing. Why are you trying to make them have all this responsibility and obligation to the family and the men, and the boys have none? Don't you understand what mentality you are demonstrating to these children? The males get to automatically feel like they're better and that they don't have to do shit to get served by women. And the women are feeling like they're not good enough because nothing about them is equal to the males. They're there to serve the males. And you guys are doing that to them without even thinking about what you're doing. You need to stop that. So that's point number 8. And these things, in case you forgot, what I'm doing now, and this is 2 videos, video 19 and 20, is going over what I feel are 10 very important things that black women do without even thinking about it, that transfer power and control of themselves, their lives as women, over to men. It's like they don't even have to game on you to get it. You just give it to them. You just lay down and just roll it out the red carpet. Just use me. Control me, dominate me, take all my power, take my thinking, just do everything for me because you're my king. And that is just so silly. All right, point number 9. Let's move on to the next slide. Number 9. Number 9 involves not being secure in who you are. There are a lot of women, a lot of reasons for that. Low self-esteem, lack of confidence. Those are 2. 2 other ones that come into play, it's just as much, if not more, are desperation to have a man and so willing to, quote, submit that you do anything that he tells you to do. In this instance and in the next one, number 9 and number 10 have to do with those issues. In point 9, it's changing yourself to become what he thinks that you should be. You change yourself to be what he wants. You change yourself to meet whatever this magical preference is that he has this week. You change yourself with every relationship that you get into. You, at the end of us, you don't even know who you are anymore because you have changed with every man that's come into your life. You change yourself and morph yourself into what he claims to want in the hopes that he will pick you, that he will marry you, that he will validate you as a woman and as his wife. That's what you all be trying to do. And it's very sad to see. Now, when you, well, let me give you an example. Because I had mentioned in another video how I was considering one day just kind of sitting down and talking and sharing some of the stories of my, I can't even call them one day because I didn't make it through the whole day. I got up and walked the fuck out. This is one of those, well, actually, it's two. I'm going to tell you two situations where this happened. The first one, I met this guy at like this happy hour thing. Excuse me. And so, that week, I don't know, later that week, he asked me out for lunch. So, it was a work lunch. So I, met him at the restaurant. And, I sit down and he's sitting across from me and he kept, doing what I'm telling you. He's studying me, right? So I knew what was up. And this was years ago. I was young. And he, is looking at me. Then all of a sudden he pipes out with, now we have the menus and we're looking at the menus. And this is what he said. So we've been there, I don't know, enough to chit chat, get the menus and start, 15 minutes? It's probably not even that long. This fool says to me, you really should shape your eyebrows because your eyebrows are kind of thick. And I looked at him. I said, who the fuck asked you what I should do with my eyebrows? And he just looked stunned. It's like, my eyebrows are fucking fine just the way they are. I like them like this. I will never change them. Do you have anything else to say? And he said, well, no, I was just making a suggestion. I said, I don't want to fucking hear it. I got up, grabbed my purse, and walked the fuck out the door. That date lasted, 12 minutes? I don't know. But see, we weren't going down that road. You're not going to try to put me in a position where I'm bouncing around, changing anything about myself because you think I should. See, that was a test. And a lot of women don't get it. You guys think, oh, he's making a suggestion. He's just trying to be helpful. Maybe I do need to trim my eyebrows, a little bit more. It's been a few weeks, blah, blah. Whatever you say to yourself, I don't know. But, my thing is my eyebrows have been shaped naturally like this since I was born. I don't really have to tweeze them. I might pick out a couple of stray hairs here and there to, in the arch area to make it a little bit more every now and then. But generally, I don't have to use any eyebrow pencil or whatever they call it. I don't have to do anything to my eyebrows. They're just naturally wonderful. I'm just blessed like that. And, for him to come in and just try to start something where he's picking on me and trying to negate anything about me, trying to put me in a position of doubting myself, trying to put me in a position of questioning my beauty or my intellect, anything that they try to do. You need to shut that shit down. You don't ever let a man tell you shit about what you should look like, what you should wear, nothing. It's not his responsibility. He needs to worry about what his own fat ass looks like. With that growing gut and hair falling out, his bald skin showing, looking like who would have thought it, and up there trying to tell somebody what they should do to themselves. Fuck you. How about that? So, that was one story. And another one, my hair, I had been growing my hair. I had like braids in my hair forever. So my hair was like super long. And I got it flat ironed, and I'm, flying my hair around. You know how you do when your hair is all newly done? It's like blowing in the wind and everything. I was like flipping my hair, like what's her name says, I flip my hair. So I just knew I was looking cute. Okay, now I'm on this date with this dude. Another one, this first date. We had lunch, and then he wanted to go into Borders bookstore. So we go into the bookstore and we in the magazine section. This motherfucker, he picks up this thing like, I don't know, just say black hair. I don't even remember what the name of it was. But they had like a whole bunch of different hairstyles for women. And one of them, he flipped to the section where women had really, really short hair. And, like the Halle Berry kind of cuts, that kind of cut. That short. And he points to this and he tells me, who just spent like 3 years growing my hair out, you would look really good with your hair short like this. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? You could kiss the inside of my ass. That's what you could do. I mean, I mean, who made you the hairstylist of the world? Well, I was just thinking, I don't care what you think. Walked out of the bookstore, left his ass standing there too. So I have like lots of stories like that where the dates were like cut off or never really happened because the guys didn't know how to act. And I have very, very, very extremely firm boundaries about what I will and will not accept from men. And you will not try to tell me anything about myself to try to make it seem like I'm lacking, deficient, or wrong, or bad, or anything else. Now, I'm not hearing it. So if that's what you think, then obviously you with the wrong bitch. That's the bottom line. So then I don't feel any qualms about walking out the door. Because obviously you want a bitch with short hair. That ain't me. You want a bitch with tweezed eyebrows. That ain't me. So I mean, what do I need to sit here for? You already said what you want, and that ain't me, and I'm not changing to be that thing. All right. So that's point. Which one was that? 9. The last one, and this really drives me crazy. You ladies give your man, I can't even say your husband, because we just gonna say your man. That includes your boyfriend, your living boy, your baby daddy, whoever is the man in your life at the moment. You give him too much power. You just give him all kinds of just control for no fucking reason at all. In this one, what you do is, say something happens. You want to go somewhere. Friend, you get an invitation somewhere. So I don't know. Whatever. This is your answer. Oh, um, I need to ask my man if that's okay first. What are you, 5? You're a grown woman with a job, making your own money, driving your own car, living your own life. Some of you have kids you raising. You doing your thing all by yourself before his funky ass came along, but all of a sudden he becomes your father and you have to ask him permission to do something like a child? Are you for real? I cannot tell you how many women say that. It drives me freaking crazy. And these men, of course, love it because they just get to sit there with their chest all puffed out. Well, nah, I don't want you doing that. I don't want you going there. You don't need to be hanging around with them folks. And your dumb ass will just, let him tell you what to do. You can be like, okay, baby. I tell you, that is just the most sickening shit ever. And it's like, what part of that do you think shows that he respects you as an adult? You're acting like a 12-year-old mentally deficient child. And it's just embarrassing to see adult women act like that. Some of them even get that that high pitched, like childish type of voice. And now I'm looking at them, and it's like that's some pedophile fantasy shit going on right there. That's just really unsavory, especially when they start calling the dude daddy. I was like, okay, you calling him daddy, but you fucking him? That's you. What? I can't get with that. I can't get with that. I just can't. And the dudes that call they woman mama, nope, you got some problems. So, I'm not sure what the goal is there. The women who I have observed saying those kinds of things, I didn't really feel that I was in a close enough relationship with them to get all in their business like that, like to even just to interview them and ask why is that your approach to your relationship and handling your life. What is it that motivates you to behave in that childlike way with this man that you're fucking? What is that about? Me, I'm gonna just put it out there. I have no like filter in that way. But it's like I would just want to know, okay, you fucking a nigga and then you calling him daddy and asking for his permission to do something like you for. What is that about? And if you have a response, I would love for you to put it in the comment section because I really do want to try to understand it. I've looked at it from every angle that I can think of, and none of it makes a lick of sense to me. But maybe there's something that I just don't get. I'm willing to hear you out. But anyway, those are my list of 10 things. I'm sure there are 10 things that, I mean, there are other things too that I haven't thought of or that you are experiencing in your own life that you realize now in retrospect uh, were significant acts of behaviors where you gave away power to a man that you were romantically involved with. My big thing though is I encourage you guys, after you finish this video series, to really sit down and think. With all the stuff that we talked about here, a lot of it are things that you grew up believing. They're things that you never really ever questioned why. You never asked anyone. And so you just go through life adopting these policies for your life and adopting these behaviors without asking yourself why you're doing it and if there really is any benefit for you to do it. What is it bringing to your world that makes your life better, that makes things more successful, that makes you happier? I mean, what options do you have that you're not exercising because you think that you have to do things only this one way, in this way that gives power over yourself and domination over yourself to men? Why do you think that? So that would be my, if you want to call it, homework for you ladies. And I do believe originally the series was going to be 20 videos, but I have two more that I know I need to do. It may even be four. So we'll definitely be up to 22 instead of just 20. But that does conclude this one. I again want to thank everybody for listening to the series and for all your encouraging comments and your support. I'm glad it's helping so many people. That means a lot to me, especially since I'm offering this service for free. There's no charge for you to listen to this stuff, and I just wanted to help some women avoid some drama. And if that helps, then my work here is done. All right, Deborah Cooper from SurvivingDating.com signing out.